Hey guys, what's going on? My name's Andrew. Welcome to my channel. On today's video, I'd like to talk about something that a lot of people unfortunately fall into, including myself, and that is the trap of never being good enough. It's something that a lot of people deal with, and they feel in the back of their mind that they're always comparing themselves to other people, and to a certain extent, it is reasonable that people do that because some people are doing very well in their life and have a lot of attention, have a lot of friends, have a lot of luck with relationships. But you really have to ask yourself is why is that? Why are people doing better than you? And it can be a number of things. It can be simply that they're in a better stage of life than you are right now. They have had a lot more opportunity. They have a lot more resources. They have a bigger social network. And so they're able to draw from an extensive amount of friends and people that they know and opportunity, which has led them to the life that they have now. And I want to compare that, and I know that my theme today is not comparing, but let's look at a few things. And one is for someone like myself who hasn't had a lot of opportunity in my life, although I am blessed with having a roof over my head, not having to worry about going bankrupt, and I've enjoyed the basics of life, but in terms of social connections, I haven't had a lot of luck. There are lots of times where I have felt like that I'm not good enough. And it's usually when I'm comparing myself to the lifestyle of somebody else. Somebody who has everything. One thing that you have to look at is what kind of life do you want to live? Do you want to live a life that you're always comparing yourself to others? That you're always being jealous of what other people are doing and how they live their life? Or are you going to focus on meeting your goals and living a happy life? If you're constantly working towards those goals, not worrying about what other people are doing and how they're living their life, but how you're living your life is what matters. Because they're going to do what they're going to do, and you have no control over that. You have no control over the type of life they live, unless you are either positively or negatively impacting their life. And this goes back to something very simple, and that is of letting go of the anger that you have. And if you're somebody who has been mistreated your whole life and hasn't had a lot of friends and just has never really felt connected to people, that is reasonable to feel that way. That you feel anger and you feel like things are never going to get better and that you'll never be good enough. But the thing is that that's an illusion. When you find the right people, you find the right passions, all of it will fall into place for you. For example, the type of work that I'm doing now, child and youth work, it took me about 3 or 4 different fields to find what I wanted. I tried journalism, I tried environmental work, I wanted to get into politics, and those are all areas that I enjoy. But it really wasn't an area that I truly felt like I fit because of different reasons involved. And in this type of field, I feel like it's somewhere that I really belong. And the same thing happens for you is when you're in a mindset of, do you feel good enough? And the answer to that is you need to feel good enough in the passions that you love. People are not a jack of all trades. Nobody is good at everything. We all have specialized interests and fields that we enjoy. And that's what you have to ask yourself. Now, when you're in a job and you feel like there are other people doing a lot better than you in that job, you're going to have to ask yourself why that is. Is it because you have more experience that you need to learn, or more goals that you need to attain, Or is it because there are people that are purposely causing you issue, that are purposely giving you a hard time? That's what you have to ask yourself. And you have to look at it through a logical point of view. Is this more about you or is it more about them? Because it goes back to how you view the world through your filter. Do you see the world through a certain prejudice and a certain bias? Do you look at the world like everybody's against you? How do you see the world? Because how you interpret the world is just as important as how people treat you. One thing that I've had a problem with in my life is never feeling good enough. And always feeling like there's always somebody better out there, and that you're always competing with people that have much more experience than you and that are living a better life. And although there are times now that from time to time I do feel that way, and it again all goes back to a negative experience you've had or a mistreatment you've had in the past, and you take that mistreatment and use it in your everyday life. And that is a example of victimhood syndrome, which I did a separate video about. But it's all about how you perceive things. And if you're looking at the world like you want to get better, you want to live a happy life, you want to appreciate advice and feedback that you're given, both positive, constructive, because if you do not see these types of feedback as important to your life, if you're not open to receiving them, then you're not going to evolve and you're not going to move forward if that's the case. So this goes with meeting people, being socially accepted, attracting the opposite sex, feeling like you're never good enough for the opposite sex. This attitude covers all these areas. And if you're honestly happy with who you are, or you want to strive to live a happy life, I think everyone's goal, no matter what kind of rut they're in, or if they're depressed, or what they're going through, want to live a happy life. And that is the goals that you can't lose sight of. Because when you're meeting people and you're following your passions, there's an old saying, and it goes, you'll never be good enough for the wrong person. And it's true. With friends, with lovers, yes, there are people that are not compatible with each other, and it doesn't work. But there is somebody out there for everybody. And I'm talking about friendship, I'm talking about relationships, and I'm talking about, in general, of working with people. You will find someone, you will find passions that will work for you. Because, in my opinion, I think that there's somebody out there for everybody, that there are people and passions that exist that cover every person on the planet on what they love. It doesn't matter what it is. If you naturally love something, if you love, for example, Marvel movies, or you love to go out and play floor hockey, or you love a certain band, and you go out and indulge in those passions, you will meet people that are like you, that love the same things that you love. And you get to share those experiences. You get to share that love with other people. So, never being good enough is an illusion. Okay? Yes, there are things that people can improve on in their life. There are areas that people are not too familiar with. But there will always be an interest or an area that you are really good at, that you really like. And if you follow that passion, you will be able to surround yourself, if you choose, with positive people that love the same thing that you do. So never being good enough is a barrier, an artificial barrier that people use to hold themselves back. There's no doubt that there are people that are abusive and that are oppressive, and that they use those tactics to shut people down, to abuse people. But remember that they're telling their story, not yours. You are your biggest advocate. You are in control of your life. And even when you're dealing with abusive people and it seems impossible, and trust me, I've seen it, that it can be very hard when you're living with these people or being surrounded with these types of people. But you always have a choice. And the choice may not be clear in the present, but will be. Seeking out that support. Finding a positive person you can trust, and looking for like-minded people. So for those of you that are feeling like that you're never good enough, it's something that you're simply defeating yourself with. You don't have to feel like that. You can feel like you're good enough. You can feel like you can do anything with the passions and the people that you love. You just have to believe it. You just have to believe in yourself. Alright guys, thanks for listening. If you like this video, please give it a like. And if you haven't already done so, make sure you subscribe. As always, keep it locked on the Andrew K. Channel.